right, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. For those of you who have not met me, I'm Brett Larson with Dynamic Air Quality Solutions. Just quick on my background. All I've ever done my entire adult life is residential HVAC, except for my 5 years in the Navy. I actually learned refrigeration in the Navy and worked on centrifugal systems and refrigeration plants. I brought that knowledge with me into the civilian world. I went to work for a new construction company for a year, which is a great way to, I didn't even know what air handling units or condensing units were. I just knew the refrigeration cycle. So I did new construction for a year. It's a great way to learn residential HVAC. Now, this was in Charleston, South Carolina, very similar to your area here as far as climate and the amount of systems that we have in there. Then I went to work for another company, became a maintenance technician. I worked my way up for that company. It was a pretty big company for Charleston in the 90s, as we were $9 million, which was a decent sized company. I was a maintenance technician, service technician, indoor air quality manager, and then I became the service manager. And I had like 15, 17 guys working for me, and we used to meet every day. I enjoyed training the technicians how to do the things I learned in the field, which was the most important thing technicians can do is provide lead generation for the comfort advisors. That was the number one thing. The number two thing was getting the people they serve involved with maintenance agreements, right? You got to get every person, every service call you go to, those technicians got to get them involved with a maintenance agreement. And lastly, we learned how to do indoor air quality, which we're going to talk about this morning, which I think you guys will find I will prove to you how easy this is. It really is remarkably easy. So the last thing I did for that company was, like I said, service manager. I kind of found my calling. I enjoy training people how to communicate properly to homeowners. Communication is key, guys. I mean, I think I've taught you guys this before, but 90% of your success in this world is due to your personality and your communication skills, not technical skills, okay? So, and that's not just with work, right? That's if anything, at home and dealing with people at the airport, at the doctor's office, no matter what, it's you know, how good your personality is and your communication skills is going to determine how successful you are. I think we can all agree with that. So, that's my background. Let's kind of jump right into indoor air quality. Listen, guys. Here it is, 2021, and I'm still dealing with most of our industry, residential HVAC, that thinks of IAQ as something nifty, right? I mean, you know, what do I mean by nifty? Like, oh, well, you can have it, you might can have it, it's fun to have, you know, I'll tell you about it if you make me Mr. Homeowner, but it's a nifty thing. You don't have to have it. And that, guys, this is absolutely not true. I like to put it like this. There are consequences to not owning an air cleaner and a UV light, and especially in the Southeast. And those consequences are, if you do not have protection on that air conditioning system and heating system, it's going to get contaminated with dirt, okay? That's not opinion, that's not speculation, that just doesn't happen on Wednesdays and Fridays. It happens every day, okay? Now, obviously, it happens faster in some houses than it does others, depending on the lifestyle of the homeowner. That's a fact, okay? But if they don't have protection, the unit's going to get contaminated. Now, the number one thing that we're dealing with is obviously dirt. I like to simplify things. Remember, we talked about communication. When we're speaking to homeowners, we have to really, it's saying dumbing it down is kind of condescending, but that's what we really need to do. They don't have any idea what a furnace is or an air handling unit or condensing unit or line sets. We have to stop using technical terms. When you brief your installation crews on what you want to have done on the job site, it's going to be completely different than what you're briefing the homeowner what's going to be done on the job site. We all in agreement with that? This is huge important how we talk about this. So, dirt is the number one problem in these air handling units. Now, it causes two problems: the health of the equipment and the health of the family, okay? So we have to really learn to concentrate on both of these things. The health of the equipment is absolutely important. If you have a contaminated system, okay, and I'll talk technical with you guys because you're going to understand the terminology. If you have a contaminated evaporator coil and a contaminated blower wheel, that is going to cause a serious lack of efficiency. Or what I like to call to the homeowner, overpaying the power company. Remember, we're going to use terminology that the homeowner can better understand, okay? So right away, you guys install a brand new system, no protection on it. It's going to get dirty. That's a fact. It's not open even for discussion anymore. That's 100% fact. And once it starts getting dirty, the system starts running inefficiently. And then not a short period of time after that, that unit is under threat of breakdown. 9 out of 10 breakdowns is caused by dirt and is completely preventable, okay? And also, it reduces the longevity of the equipment. If it spends its whole life dirty, is it going to last the amount of time that the manufacturer hopes it does? Of course it's not. It absolutely is not. So these contaminants throw everything in the system into chaos. Now the manufacturer, whoever it is that makes the equipment, is hoping that you guys at the very least do maintenance, which is to go there and clean it after it gets dirty, which is a very reactive way to do something, and that's better than nothing. But what about preventing it from getting dirty to begin with? Okay? We actually have the technology, and have for quite some time, to keep that air conditioning equipment in factory spec condition its whole life. Isn't that amazing? Okay? Now, you know who has no idea about any of that, guys? Do you know? The homeowner has no clue about it. Now, furthermore, they probably don't really care very much, and that doesn't make them a bad person or unintelligent. They have other things they're concentrating on in life. They have their own job, their own career, their own children, their own house, everything that they're planning on. So this means that we have to take the time to explain this to them because, guys, yes, I understand not every person in this country cares about their health, okay? Because the other side of this, the dirt and the equipment, is the health of the family. And I assure you that there's quite a few people in this country that care about their health and their children's health. And they don't understand how central air conditioning installed in extremely efficient, tight homes seriously contaminates the air in their house. Now, this is a fact, and I encourage anybody that wants to do their own independent research on this to look this up. We did not have the breathing problems in America prior to the late 1970s like we have today. Even when people were smoking in their houses, everybody smoked back in the 30s and the 40s and the 1950s. And today we have more asthma, more lung problems, more COPD than we ever did before. Now, why is that? The reason why this is because we had an energy crisis in the 1970s. We started building homes much, much tighter and more efficient, better windows, better insulation. We wrapped these things, and then we started installing central air conditioning in them all. And all these contaminants that we bring into the house, the air conditioning system recirculates. And so now, I think from 1980 to 1990, asthma problems among school-age children went up 500%. You guys can look that up yourselves and see what I'm talking about. Like I said, lung cancer, COPD, even though we have less smokers today, we have more breathing problems today, all due to this. Well, what are we going to do about this? What we actually have, my company, Dynamic Air Quality Solutions, we didn't invent the problem, we invented the solutions. Okay? So what we're dealing with out there, guys, when it comes to solutions to these indoor air quality challenges, is there's two types of indoor air quality manufacturers, and that's what we are, an indoor air quality manufacturers. They're manufacturers that deal with nothing but marketing and have very little solutions, and then there's companies of science, like my company, okay? Let's talk about what we're dealing with in the house and which products that we use to solve those problems, okay? So, in every house we're dealing with, and you guys have seen this before, we're dealing with the three phases of contamination: particles, germs and infectious agents, and chemical gases and odors. Now, all three in our books here, guys, talk about what problems that these individual phases of contamination cause the equipment, and it talks about how it affects the health of the people inside the space, okay? And then each individual phase of contamination has its own solution and a product that takes care of that. We have to take the time to explain this to homeowners. We have to literally spend an extra 10, 15 minutes as we're in front of these people and break this down for them so that they understand this. They actually will get this, guys, if you take just a few extra minutes to explain it to them. Now, one of the things that we're dealing with homeowners is allergies. Is that not true? It's true. Now, what percentage of homeowners in the United States have allergies? Does anyone know? I wish, yeah, it's not 100%. It's 75%. 75% of people, okay, have allergies. Now, that means 3 out of 4 people, all right, for all you guys that might not have finished high school or anything, okay? All right? 3 out of 4 have, some of them, have you not met anyone in your life that has a family member with severe allergies? Really bad. They're on medication, they get shots once in a while, it stresses them out, they've had to go to the hospital, the kid carries a little inhaler. Have you guys not seen this? It's out there. okay? And that's because in these spaces that these kids are at, they're living in and maybe going to school in a space that has highly contaminated air. But the number one thing that causes allergies is particulates. What are particulates, guys? Dust, skin flakes, dust mite feces. Yes, people are not allergic to dust mite. They're allergic to their poop right here. Smoke and hair. Now, right on this pie chart, it talks about the equipment effects. Compressor failures, increased energy bills, clogged coils, buildup on the fan and blower wheels, decreased equipment life, but health effects. When you ask a person, hey, I'm looking at your existing system and I can see it's pretty contaminated, so I have to ask you, which one in your family is the one with all the allergies? And they were like, my son has really bad allergies. I'm not surprised. Does any of these symptoms sound familiar? Runny nose, cough, sneezing, congestion, sore throat, asthma, wheezing? Yeah, a lot of those do. Not surprised at all. That's particulates. How do we eliminate particulates, guys? Well, we have two solutions to that, okay? We have our standard 1-inch high-efficiency electronic air cleaner. Everybody, you guys have to use the proper terminology. This is not a filter. Okay, filters remove only big particles. Most homeowners, the vast majority of them are using pleated filters, okay? They are very restrictive for airflow, okay? There's some people in here knows about that, right? And they do not remove the small particles. Now, in our literature, so you guys can catch up on this, we talk about particle size and how it affects people's health. 98% of all particles floating in the air, the vast majority, 98%, are what we call sub-micron particles, less than 1 micron in size. A micron is very tiny, guys. A micron is 1/25,000th of an inch. That means if I have 1 inch, I can fit 25,000 microns in that inch, back to back. And 98% of particulates are less than 1 of those. Now, why is this important? Because those are the particles that make people sick and aggravate their allergies. Not the big stuff. We have natural defenses against big things. It's called sneezing or coughing and hacking, okay? The small stuff goes right past our lungs into our system, creates histamines and causes problems. And we go to the doctor and they prescribe what? Antihistamines, and now we're on drugs, right? That's not, wouldn't it be better to relieve ourselves of what's causing the problem? Well, how do we do that? There's only one way to do that, and that's with high-efficiency air cleaners, okay? This Solace Air cleaner is 97.4% efficient at 0.3 microns. Now, for all you guys that didn't finish high school, 0.3 is in fact less than 1 micron, just so that we all know and we're clear on that, okay? Sub-micron particles. You have to be able to explain it to home. Well, I have a good filter right here, the homeowner might say. Well, that does not remove sub-micron particles. Not even close, actually. Even the most expensive 3M pleated filter in the world that costs, what, 40 bucks or something, right? That is about 90% efficient at 10 microns. 10 microns is massive, okay? You can actually see a 10 micron particle in the sunlight, okay? So only air cleaners remove that, okay? There's only a handful of air cleaners. You guys, we've talked about this before. Lennox's MERV 16 is an air cleaner. It's the only paper air cleaner on the market. It's the only one. Train Clean Effects, Carrier Infinity, the April Air 5000 from April Air. That's the only one, not the Space Guard. So this is where I'm trying to get you guys ahead. If it's made of paper, it's not an air cleaner unless it's the Lennox MERV 16, okay? All other paper filters are not air cleaners and do not remove particulates that will benefit the homeowner's health. Why can't we do both? Why can't we help the equipment stay clean and benefit people inside that space? And why do you have to have allergies and asthma, by the way, to be qualified to breathe cleaner, fresher air? Anyway, I always wondered that myself. Well, do you have allergies? You don't? Well, then you don't need clean air. What? What does that mean? Okay? I mean, of course you do. Everybody deserves to have that option to have cleaner, fresher, and healthier air. And listen, even the healthiest person in the house, they can be a triathlon athlete, okay? Professional football player and the best health of their life. They are affected by poor air quality just like everyone else. Now, it might not hurt them as much as somebody with a weak immune system, obviously, okay? But it still affects them over time. It can affect their sleep, can affect their breathing, can affect how their sinuses feel, all of that. People spend 70% of their lives in their house, okay? In the house that they own, okay? Even, obviously, like service technicians who work outside all the time spend a little bit less time out inside than they do inside, but most people spend 70% of their lives in their own house, okay? And they're unaware of how contaminated their air is. Now, all we're talking about right now is just particulates. This high-efficiency air cleaner uses 24 volts. It wires right to the existing air handling unit. It can take your install as 10 minutes to install. I mean, it's very, very simple. We make them to fit in every single installation, okay? It comes with a lifetime warranty on the workmanship of the panel and the electronics. There are media pads that go inside of it, okay? Now, this is what's great about this. These media pads collect the small submicron particles, and whenever we replace the media pad with a new one, we in essence have what? A brand new high-efficiency electronic air cleaner with a lifetime warranty. Every time we change the pad, it is a brand new electronic air cleaner with a lifetime warranty. That's pretty awesome. And it's transferable to any new homeowner that moves into the place. Okay? Now, we replace the media pads that go inside. The average is 4 to 5 months, depending on the lifestyle of the homeowner. Now, I always like to joke around this. I like to do extremes, right? So we have the elderly couple. They live on the second floor of a condo, right? They eat out when? How often? Every night, right? How many pets they have? 0. I've seen them last 8, 9, 10 months. Now, you got these 2 people living in the house. They're burning incense. They're burning that other stuff they shouldn't be burning, right? They got a couple of German shepherds running around the house, a parrot flying around the house. Have you been in this house? They have 4 ferrets, right? One's been missing for 6 months, right? That house, okay? You guys, you ever been to a house before where you're positive you're being filmed for a show so the people can watch your reaction to it? I mean, I've been in that house. 1 month. That's going to last, month, maybe 6 weeks, okay? So we just have to inform them. We have to evaluate their lifestyle and then go by that, okay? They're going to need to change it more often if they're a busy lifestyle in there, right? Lifetime warranty on it. 97.4% at 0.3 microns. Now, for extra particle removal, we have our HEPA bypass. Now, true HEPA, okay, why can't we put true HEPA inside an air handling unit? The reason why is because it's too restrictive. It's entirely too restrictive. So that's why we pull an independent box aside and have its own blower inside of it. This particular unit has 2 settings, 150 CFM and 300 CFM. Our studies show this is 99.9% efficient at 0.1 microns and above. So this is extra particulate removal. Now, why do we offer this? Okay, in our packages on the back of our leave-behinds, we have the packages here, and the #1 package contains the HEPA, and you guys will have that with your duct cleaning and a different thing that you guys are going to provide for them. There's basically 3 reasons why we have this HEPA. First off, there are people who qualified to own it. If you bump into a family, Daniel, and they got a little kid with severe allergies, they need this. This is going to offer them serious relief above and beyond what just the air cleaner, the 1-inch air cleaner will do, okay? Then, the other reason why we have this offering is, I'm sure I've taught you guys this before, and most of you are aware of it, I'm sure anyway, because we all read sales books in here weekly, right? 3 to 8% of people that you see buy the best no matter what. That's just the way they're wired. You show them the best and is that the best one, right? And you go, yeah, this is it. This is our Cadillac system. I want that one, okay? 3 to 8% of people buy the best no matter what. Remember, 11% of the people that you visit buy the cheapest no matter what. And this is key for you guys to remember. Please remember this. Income level has nothing to do with those 2 statistics. Nothing to do with it, okay? So we just need to get in the habit of showing them the best IAQ package first. Those who are going to say, those 11%ers are just going to go, nope, I don't want that one. But how are you going to find the 3 to 8%ers if you don't present this first? Okay? Because the third reason that we offer the HEPA, first reason, remember, recap, there are people qualified to own it that really need it. Second reason is the 3 to 8% that are just going to pick that because they want the best. And the third reason is you always want that one higher price that pushes most people into what? The second and the third packages, right? Just like you do with your equipment. You're always offering the most high efficiency equipment that you have first, the best package that you have available. And then you move down from there. You can never move up. You can never get excited about a person making a decision right away, going, yeah, okay, I'll take that one. And you go, whoa, wow, let me present the best one now. It's too late. It's too late. I'm sure some of you have been burned by that. I know I did in the past. Remember, as a technician, offering my first IAQ UV light, I think of what it was, and the homeowner said yes right away, and I'm walking out to my van. I'm like, wow, I think I'll go back and tell them about everything now. And I did, and it blew the whole thing. They said no to everything after that. Well, why didn't you show me that first? What do you say? I was too scared? You can't. No. You got to show them all first and let them decide. So that's where our HEPA and our high efficiency air cleaner comes in for particulate removal. Now guys, how many people need an air cleaner on their system? Everyone, right? Do we believe this? This is huge important. How many of you have an air cleaner on your house? We have to put one on our own houses. This is, if you believe it's good enough for the homeowner, then we need to have it in our own house. Plus, a personal testimony is very, very strong. When I was a tech, when I was a service manager, I always had every product, including the equipment that we sold. If they brought in a new furnace that we had, I got it. I really did. And I put it in my house. Every single time we had a new product that came, even the programmable thermostats, that's how old I am. I remember when those guys first came out, the real good ones that Honeywell made, right? That would self-adjust depending on your needs in the house. It was pretty neat. So let's get that stuff. We have a program for you guys to put this in your house. All these products, we need to get them in your house, okay? Besides, I always joke with techs. You've heard me say this. You know, if the Best Buy guy came in here and was offering a $4,000 Samsung television set for $500, every single technician would be going to Best Buy instead of their first job, right? To get that because everybody believes in a $4,000 TV, right? But you guys can get a $4,000 IQ package for that for your house for very, very little. So let's get that in there. So that's the air cleaner. Is it okay if we do questions and answers on this, or any questions about the air cleaner? Because we can move right on to UV. Second phase of contamination is germs and infectious agents. What's that? Viruses, bacteria, mold, flu virus, pollen, and growth, okay? That causes respiratory infection, throat and ear infection, bronchitis, pneumonia, sinusitis. This is what causes illness. These are airborne viruses and bacteria. When you get a sinus infection, that's from an overload of bacteria, okay? Same thing when we're passing cold and flu, and yes, the other virus, if that's okay to say. So absolutely. How do we eliminate viruses in the air? Guys, is everybody in this room, I'm sure some of you do, know who ASHRAE is, right? ASHRAE is our governing body for HVAC. They happen to be based right here in Atlanta, by the way. It's just a coincidence, okay? If you ever wondered who made up all the rules about what ton this is and what size line set you use and where registers need to go, that's all done by ASHRAE. You can and I'll be glad to send you this link and you can send it to the guys, but ASHRAE only endorses one methodology, to eliminate germs in the air of a building or a space, and that is high output, high intensity UVC lamps. That's it. There's no other magic pixie dust type things that come out of vents and scrub stuff on tables or any of that fantasy world BS. That doesn't happen. There's only one way, and that is for that virus, if it goes down the duct system, right, and passes by a high output UVC lamp, it has to be a certain intensity, and that lamp will, in fact, deactivate or cancel out that virus, making it incapable of reproducing, okay? That's the only way. So how do we know what kind of UV lights we need to use, okay? Well, Westinghouse Corporation, and you guys have seen me do this PowerPoint with you guys before, came out with design parameters way, way, way back in the late 1980s, okay, of what type of lamp and what type of system. I mean, they broke it down for residential, commercial, and industrial systems. But we're just talking residential. Fast forward to 2001, ASHRAE notices that the industry's selling lots of UV lights through the 90s, so they decide to bring on a company, RTI International, a separate engineering firm that has nothing to do with our industry, to validate Westinghouse's research, to make sure that they were in fact correct on what type of UVC lamps it took to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, which is what? Eliminating germs in our air. Because that's how people get sick, you know. Okay? They get sick by passing germs in the air and you breathing in the germs. And the air conditioning system is absolutely a wonderful way to distribute that evenly to every room in the house. It absolutely does. You guys probably know, and it doesn't hurt to say for the camera here, is that all the air in a house, in every single room in the house, goes through the air conditioning system on average 4 times an hour. Okay, all of it. The actual correct term is 3 to 5 times an hour, but if you can just remember 4. And so when you're explaining that to a homeowner, You know, I'm not sure you knew this, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, but all the air in your house and all the rooms in your house, in the bedrooms, in the kitchen, the living room, the bathrooms, even the closets, from the ceiling to the floor, all the air in your house goes through this air conditioning system 4 times an hour. And with it, it carries what, guys? Particles, germs, infectious agents, and chemical gases and odors. And we're going to use the high output UVC lamp to eliminate that. Now, what we have here, we have a different bunch of products to address germs. With the particles, it's just the high efficiency air cleaner and our HEPA. That's for particle removal. Now for UVC, for germ control, we need to use high output UVC lamps. Now, just so that you guys know, there's 2 different types. Why do I keep saying high output? There's 2 different types of UVC that's out there. And the vast majority, gentlemen, of your competitors are using low output UVC lamps. Let me show you an example of a low output UVC lamp that my company offers. We call it our entry series UV. It's a surface kill light only, which means when you install it into an air handling unit, especially a heat pump air handling unit, wherever it's shining, biologic growth can't grow, and there is a mechanical benefit for that, for the mechanical health, for the health of the air conditioning system. There are benefits to that. And here's an example of this. This is a low voltage, uses 24 volts, okay? Like some guys call them light sticks or blue tubes. There's different names for it, okay? Now we make probably the highest quality one on the market. We have indicator lights on our ballast. We actually do a 5-year warranty on the ballast. Our lamp is also warranted and guaranteed for 2 years. This does not eliminate germs in the airflow, okay? And if any other company's honest about their product, they will tell you that theirs don't either. They are surface kill only. Wherever it's shining, biologic growth won't occur, okay? So this, at the very least, every homeowner, if you're bumping into a homeowner that's not a health conscious person, okay, then this is probably going to be the answer for them. If they could care less about COVID and they don't care about their breathing problems or any of that, they at the very least need this, because I assure you, even the most unhealthy, non-caring person cares if it's 88 degrees in their house or 50 degrees in their house. Would we all agree with that? So they care that it breaks down, right? What's the #1 cause of breakdowns? Dirt and contamination, okay? This helps control the biologic growth inside of units that occur in the South, okay? This is the entry series level low output UVC lamp. Now, for the high output UVC lamps, we have several different models to take care of that. First, this is our fixed mount system, FM system. That means that the lamp is actually attached to the ballast box, all right? It has our high intensity 180 microwatt UVC lamp, and this it can get installed in the return or the supply. All right, this mounts right up to metal, or we make ductboard brackets if it's actual ductboard. Okay, very, very simple for the guys to install. Now this uses line voltage. This can be wired to 110 volts or 220 volts. Doesn't matter which one. It's self-adjusting, so the installers, the technicians, if it's a gas furnace, they're going to wire it to 120, 110, and if it's a heat pump, they're going to wire it to 220, 240. It's self-adjusting. Very, very simple to install. But with...
I'm sorry. So they don't have to have any adjustment switches? Or just
no, sir.
Automatically recognize the voltage and adjust?
That's correct.
I just want to make sure.
That's exactly correct. This will operate between 90 volts and 300 volts. And so it will recognize that voltage and self-adjust to it. Yep. Now the ballast inside here is warranted for life. And the lamps are warranted for 2 years. Okay, and they need to be replaced after 2 years, because getting back to Westinghouse and RTI International, that's the engineering firm that ASHRAE hired to validate Westinghouse's research, they said the minimum output lamp in a residential system, because how fast is our air moving? It's moving 300 to 500 feet per minute down the duct system. It's boogieing down that duct system, gentlemen. It's moving 6 feet per second. If you want to sterilize a germ at that speed, the minimum output power of the UVC lamp needs to be 110 microwatts. So we make ours 180, and the reason why we do is because lamps degrade over time, and they get weaker. And the reason why is these filaments burn and pit the glass, and it creates a gas that builds up inside the actual lamp, and that blocks the UVC rays from coming out. And once this intensity drops below 110 microwatts, it's not killing germs anymore. It's just as effective as this light stick, okay? still, but it's not killing germs anymore. So there are no health benefits for the people inside the space. So we warranty it for 2 years because we're designed to stay above 110 for 2 years. This is our fixed mount unit, FM. This particular one is an FM2 12.5. The first letters are what it is, fixed mount or remote mount. I'll show you the remote mount in a minute. The next thing is the number of lamps in the system. This will have 2 because this is our oxidizer and there's a lamp in there. And then the next numbers are how big the lamps are, 12-inch, 5-inch. Okay, so this would be an FM2 12.5. I don't think you guys in this particular room need to have this memorized, but it's still, you guys that deal with this stuff, it's pretty easy to understand when it comes to ordering and that type of thing. Now, our remote mount unit. This is mostly used more in the southeast, especially in Florida locations, because we have such tight spaces where we can mount these things. This can be mounted outside the air handling unit anywhere, and then now we can mount this lamp on the evaporator coil, or we can mount it inside the air handling unit, or it can go into the duct system. It's very versatile.
Can it be in return too?
Yes. Oh, no, and the return duct, it can go on the coil, it can go inside the air handling unit, it can go in the supply if that's the only place you have. So it's very versatile, okay? This also has a lifetime warranty on the ballast, and it's the same exact lamp. All these lamps are identical, so you'd use the same lamps in this one as you would in the FM units. Now, what's unique about this RM1 unit, this one is one of our products that's upgradable. This RM1 with germ elimination, remember, this is a high output UVC lamp, okay? I want to make sure that everybody understands the difference between him and him. I mean, you can just see the difference right now, right? Any questions about that? This is what all your competitors are offering, even if they ever talk about it. This might tell the homeowner, oh yeah, well, we'll give you a free UV light with that if you want, right? And it's going to be some really, really, really cheap version of this particular type of UV. And I mean extraordinarily cheap. Remember, we talked about that before. Most AC companies sell UV lights that are so cheap that China won't even make them, okay? You know what I mean? You know it's cheap when the Chinese are like, man, we got standards. We ain't making that, you know? Okay, so don't, that's what.
24 inches, not just 12, the whole.
It actually is, yep. And we get more into that in more technical training, but you're absolutely right, Daniel. So this particular unit can be upgraded to our RM2 12.5, where the technician in the field can actually add the remote oxidizing unit to the actual unit. It's very, very simple to do, and it's upgradable. So this particular unit can be just the UVC lamp by itself, or the UVC lamp and the oxidizer by itself, okay? And
Brad, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just in very short couple of minutes, oxidizer.
Yep,
You can explain to them what the oxidizer is, what does it do, and what are the benefits? What is the difference between the UV light and oxidizer?
absolutely. So just finishing up on UV, the most important thing for you guys to take from this is a medical grade UVC lamp, okay? Only high output UVC lamps eliminate germs in the airflow, okay? Now, the germ has to go by the light and pass by the light to die, but it's going to. Airborne germs are not going to land and go anywhere. They're going to stay airborne. They're extremely tiny. They're made of DNA. UVC destroys DNA. Now, guys, we have a training website, okay? I know we forwarded this to you. On our training website, if you want to get into extreme engineering and scientific detail about how UVC lights work, stuff you would never share with a homeowner. I would never want you to go that deep with it. But I would love for you guys to know how this works. It would be helpful to you and your confidence if you became UVC experts. And we have detailed videos that won't take very long for you guys to watch on your own time. And you can get right into the nitty-gritty about that and learn in detail how UVC actually works, how Mother Nature uses it outside, and how we take that technology and put it into the duct system, okay? Same thing if you want to become an expert at filtration. If you want to be able to talk about all the different products that are out there that claim to be air cleaners or different types of filtration units, we have detailed scientific and engineering videos on that for you guys to watch. And I'm telling you, it's a confidence booster. It'll make you more of a professional because you'll really know what you're talking about with that. I highly encourage that you go on there. Now, that leaves one other thing. Third phase of contamination, which is chemical gases and odors, okay? This is a big one, guys. You know, most people don't even think about chemical gases, but today we build our houses, like I said before, tight, 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 and now we're bringing in products from all over the world that all off-gas chemicals into our house, and it stays trapped in the house. Unlike a brand new car, that brand new car smell, all those nice smells from a brand new car, you know what that is? That is chemical gases off-gassing from all those brand new stuff in the car. And the reason why it goes away in 6 months is because every time you open up the car door, all those gases off-gas outside. But when you open up your front door of your house is under a vacuum. Okay? So all those things don't escape. The only natural way to get rid of chemical gases in your house would be to open up all the windows and doors. And you're not going to suggest that to somebody in Atlanta in the month of July. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. It's not going to happen. And even if you do that, when it does cool off and it gets to be 60 degrees outside and people open up their windows and doors, as soon as they shut them out, and the VOCs will go down. You can actually watch on a meter the chemicals go down in the house. It happens actually quite rapidly. But as soon as you close all those windows and doors, guess what happens? They come right back very rapidly. The same speed that they went away, they're going to go right back into the house. Because Mother Nature's methodology to get rid of chemical gases outside doesn't exist inside the house. We're going to talk about the solution to that. But guys, learn what chemical gases are. Chemicals, pesticides, cleaning solvents, building materials, formaldehyde, benzene, VOCs. And these do cause health effects: headache, nausea, dizziness, blurred vision, lethargy, memory lapse, lung problems. Chemical gases are a slow poison. It's just a very, very slow, over time, it affects everybody. It's so bad that there's a university in here, that Harvard University did a study on chemical gases, okay? And they found that 100% of the homes that they tested, now that means all of them for all you guys that didn't finish high school, just remember, okay? Every house that they went into, right, had chemical compounds at what? Levels that caused human symptoms, okay? You follow me? So the EPA and the Center for Disease Control says all three phases of contamination are equally cause problems for people's health inside that house, okay? So we need to address all three. The homeowner deserves to know all three. Now, how do we eliminate chemical gases? That's going to be our oxidation system. Now, how does this work? This works the exact same way the sun, and the way it does with our atmosphere, gets rid of chemical gases outside. The sun creates our ozone layer in our atmosphere. That layer, some of it filters back towards the surface of the earth. And what that does is it cancels out chemical gases in our atmosphere. The way that works is, we got to go back to science real quick, and I promise I won't get too technical on it, is we have a periodic chart, right, and which is made up of atoms. Atoms join together, they make compounds or molecules, right? Some molecules are neutral to our health, are harmless, and other molecules are very dangerous for us. Chemical gases, we'll call them, and VOCs, okay? An O1, one oxygen, is a wonderful way, a natural way to get rid of or to change the molecular structure of harmful chemicals into something that's neutral or something that's harmless to a human being. And it works on about 98% of what we call common VOCs that we find in buildings and homes. Now, we have a more detailed video on that, and I'd rather have a whiteboard. And I think I've pretty much taught these guys before how that actually works, how that O3 will collide into a molecule and give off that O1 to it and oxidize it, change the molecular structure of that. No, well, kind of. So what it does is it cancels it out and makes it into a neutral molecule. So the way to talk to homeowners about this is the same way Mother Nature does it outside. We're not using chemicals to get rid of odors in your house and chemicals in your house. We are using the natural way, the same way the sun cleans our atmosphere outside. So, gentlemen, homework assignments are this. Go onto the training website, watch the 2-hour video, pass the test. I'll send you a $50 gift card. I mean, you'll get a little certificate. You send it to your boss. He'll text me or email me the certificate. That'll have your first and last name on you. I'll send the gift card in. Okay. The reason why I'm doing this is because I know the more educated you get, the more confidence you'll have, and the more products you'll be able to sell. This, I'm going to tell you this straight up. I've told you this before. Maybe some of you believe me, maybe some of you don't. If you get very proficient and professional at presenting IAQ, you will close at a higher percentage with homeowners, especially if you introduce this first. And the reason why is this I know they're going to agree with me. No homeowner ever gets excited about replacing their AC. No homeowner ever woke up in the morning and went, oh, honey, you know what? I hope we have to replace our air conditioning system this morning. Right? That doesn't happen. Okay? This is something that they just wish wasn't happening. But when we start talking about cleaner, fresher, healthier air and the possibility that everybody's feeling better in their house, especially their children, that is something that piques their interest. Proof point is like water companies, plumbing companies that offer clean water systems, water softeners and water filtration and UV lights for water. I mean, I live in Florida on a well, okay? I was very excited to get better water for my house. Our toilets were changing color, the laundry, our whites were getting dark, and that was not good, right? I mean, and the water tasted terrible. It really did. I put their special products in there and everything. It was, the best, cleanest water you could possibly imagine. It's wonderful. And we can do the exact same thing for air. Guys, it says right on the front here, we breathe 3,000 gallons of air every single day. The EPA says indoor air is 3 to 5 times and as much as 100 times more polluted than the worst outside air. We're all breathing contaminated air. Let's take the time to learn this, okay? And share this with the homeowner first. It's a carrot, it's a nugget that will help you not only close at a higher percentage rate, I'm telling you, you get good at this, you'll increase your percentage by 5 to 10%. Telling you straight up, I know sales guys that do that. And also, you'll increase your average ticket. And it's going to help you sell more high efficiency equipment because you're going to this will be included with the XP25s or the XC25s and that type of thing, right? And so that way, if they move down from there, when you take this away, that's when the homeowner says, no, I want to keep that stuff. And I'm telling you right now, test me on this. But you're going to have to learn this stuff. You can't just go into the homeowner and say, hey, we got these really nifty UV light thingies, you should probably get one. And the homeowner's going to go, oh, great, tell me about it. And you're going to go, I don't know. That's it. And anybody have teenagers, right? Yeah, okay, you know when a teenager's BSing you, right? You let them talk for a little bit, right? And they're just digging themselves a ditch, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Homeowners are going to know if you're full of it. If you are talking schmack and you're not talking facts, even if they don't know what the facts are, they're going to sense that you're just making stuff up when you don't have to. You don't have to, guys. So I want to thank you for your time. I want you to seriously consider taking watching that video on our website. It's free. Finishing taking the test. You can take it 5,000 times. It's an open book test. You can cheat. You can text me if you need the help with an answer, and I'll send you a free $50. I want you to do that. I want you to learn these packages that we have on here, okay, and what the different pricing is, including with your duct cleaning. All right, very, very important. And you call me if you have any questions with this stuff. Our training website is a wealth of information well past that 2-hour video. Become experts at this, and I'm going to tell you, you'll make a lot more money this year and it will bring you to a new level of professionalism that's much better than the vast majority of your competitors. Believe me, I spend my whole life calling on contractors, okay? And the elite contractors all have complete, comprehensive indoor air quality programs, and they make it 10 to 15% of their overall sales, of which you guys can easily do. Okay? I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.